All right. Next up, bold. On the handout, I call that a double shot of IBHT. Now, I grew up on a farm in northern Illinois. My dad would come in from a night of work and he'd take a shower and he'd settle into his recliner in his comfy clothes. And on more than one occasion, he would turn to me and he'd say, "Pumpkin, you run upstairs and get my slippers." Used to drive me crazy. That man was just upstairs. Why couldn't he remember to get the slippers himself? So one day in about fourth grade, I decided to educate Shorty to that fact. I said, "Dad, you were just upstairs. Why didn't you get the slippers while you were up there?" He then taught me the best 4 words I've ever learned in my life. In fact, I am quite certain that it is these 4 words alone that eventually gave me a career on a silver platter. And here they are. He said, "Laurie, I'm your dad. And when I ask you to do something, you would be much better off to say, 'I'd be happy to.' I'm going to feel better about asking you, and you're going to feel better about doing it." I didn't get it at the time. I just went and got the stupid slippers, but this concept sunk into my brain. And years later, when I entered this workforce with over 100 other people, guess what? There was always somebody better than me. They either had more education, more experience, or flat out better talent. But when it came to how I treated our customers and how I treated my coworkers, it's the Shorty principle that came into play. When I was asked to do something, it was a slipper moment. So instead of saying, "Yeah, sure, okay, no problem," our normal affirmatives, I would smile and I would say, "I'd be happy to." You know what happens if you do this over and over and over again? More work comes your way. That's right. Give it to Laurie. She's happy to do it. And all of a sudden, we reach the whole point of this program is life in the espresso lane is about a balance. And for every time that you keep saying yes, 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 you have to have the balance on the other side. And at work, we have to say yes. So we might as well be happy to do it. But in your personal life, you have the ability to say no to things. I think this is one of the most important things I'm going to tell you. If anybody has drifted because you've got all these distractions in your house, come back right now, because this one lesson in your personal life is going to rock your world. If you're ready, say yes. I got to know you're here. Tell me you are ready for the one thing that will make the biggest difference. I see them coming in. You're still there. Thank you. We are up to still at 113 people. Yes, they're ready. Here it is. You have the ability to pass on invitations and requests for your time. I'm a fan of theme living. I started it about 10 years ago. At the start of every year, I choose a theme by which to live. Now, this is not a New Year's resolution. A resolution is something you say you want to do, but you don't really. Like in my case, work out. I don't know why I keep saying I'm going to start the new year working out, because I never do, right? But a theme is something you do want to do, and you look for the opportunities to do it. And so, my very first year of theme, I chose the year of no, N-O. And here's how it works. Any request that came in for my personal time. Now remember, I'm not talking about work. They're going to set that aside for a second. This is on the personal side, where I have complete control. I don't owe anybody any yeses. Not being paid for a yes. So any request that came in for my time that didn't meet one of my top priorities for the year, I quickly processed it and decided if I really wanted to say yes. You know how you know whether you're on the espresso lane of life and out of control? I'd like you to look at your calendar and your checkbook. Where does your time go? Where does your money go? And if that is feeding your priorities in life, then fantastic. But if you look and you say, why did I give that day up here? Why did I give that dollar up there? And it was because you didn't know how to say no, then here you go. Here's how it works. Here's the formula. Are you ready to jot this down? Remember, we're recording, so you can always grab it later if you miss it. But here's the formula. It is the name of the person who asked, followed by appreciation for being asked, and a simple pass. So let's say for a second that Renee, the sponsor for today, let's say we're friends living in the same town. We've been friends for a long time, and she invites me to come over to her home for an in-home party of some kind. And as soon as she asks, I'm processing in my brain, do I need another tool in the kitchen? Do I need another basket? Do I need another makeover? Whatever request she has, I say to myself, do I need and want that? And if the answer is yes, I'm going to accept the invitation and I'm going to show up like I said I was going to. But if the answer is no, How many times do you find yourself defaulting to, yeah, sure, I'll be there. And then when that Tuesday night rolls around and you have to go to Renee's house, you're kicking yourself as you back out of the driveway, just looking for any excuse not to go. You pretend to have a headache. You say something else has come up. You basically lie to your friend just because you didn't have the guts. That's right. You didn't have the guts to say no. So here's what it sounds like. As Renee asks me and I process it, I think, no, that's not something I want to do. I don't want to spend my time and my money doing that, but I do like Renee. She's my friend. So here's what it sounds like. She's done talking. It's my turn, and it sounds as simple as this. Oh, Renee, thank you so much for asking. This time around, I'm going to have to pass, but thanks. Hard period. Now, it sounds a little robotic as I role play it for you. In real life, it would sound more natural. But do you see the formula? Renee, thank you so much for asking. This time I'm going to have to pass. Hard period. Anything that turns a comma, anything you say after a comma is trouble. So now listen. Oh, Renee, thanks so much for thinking of me. I really need to pass this time, but if you have to have a certain number of people there in order to get the hostess gift, then let me know and I'll swing by or I'll order something from the book. See how the comma got me in trouble? I really want you to take this seriously, to find a series of responses that are comfortable to you and can come off the top of your tongue very easily. See, I think the reason we default to yes is because we weren't prepared to say no. So I have a variety of ways I say no. Gosh, I have to pass this time is my favorite because nobody can argue with, I just have to pass. Another, if I want to be more direct, I might say, oh my gosh, as much as I would enjoy coming to your house, Renee, I cannot buy one more thing to add to this kitchen. So I'm going to give her a reason why, as long as it's not offensive. And I think it is so true that we do things we don't want to have to do. Do you know I'm still reaping the benefits of the year of no? I've gotten very protective of my time, and people don't make me do things out of guilt. Now here's the next level, and we'd have to have a whole nother seminar for this. Do you know this actually is approved at family level too? There are so many things we do because the family, extended family, makes us feel like we have to do, especially when we start wrapping it around traditions. Well, we always go to grandma's on Christmas Eve, and no matter how bad you don't want to do it anymore, you feel forced into doing it. And I'm encouraging you to find the words to be able to speak your mind without alienating relationships. And it really comes down to words you choose. So the knowing how to say no makes a difference. When you're going to say yes, I'd be happy to. When you're going to say no, be ready with the answer.